species compared to things like mammals that have very short-lived species.
Well, could you use this same kind of thing to predict what kind of species would likely become invasive?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's something that the modern biologists are working very hard at.
Right.
I mean, really trying to predict who are going to be the invaders so we can stop,
right.
Focus efforts of stopping that type of species.
Like if we could have killed whoever brought the first honeysuckle here?
Kudzu, dandelions. Dandelions are terrible. Yeah.
Your Devonian data seem to indicate the species were moving from the east to the west. Mm-hmm. Were there movements from the west back to the east?
There were, but not nearly as commonly. It was generally a unidirectional trend. So that probably indicates something about ocean currents. Probably there was flow, whether it was potentially a weak flow. But there would have been a flow kind of in one way. The way that these brachiopods and bivalves would migrate essentially is during their larval phase. So these guys get their larvae in the water and floats around. So presumably, I mean, we really do see a directionality. So presumably that says something about water currents.
Is there any directionality coming from into the east, from the east?
Not very much, no.
Well, what you were talking about, species that can accept a lot of different conditions. That's the exact same thing they're doing right now with corn.
Yep.
Genetic engineering corn. It's called triple stack corn because they put 3 different genetic modifications.
Oh.
And they make it so that it resists insects. Because it's got a genetic modification in it that creates a poison for insects. It resists drought. And what's the other big one? Oh, and it resists the herbicide trees.
Oh, okay.
So man is doing this himself right now on an immense scale. And there were hundreds and maybe thousands of species of corn. And pretty soon all around the world, the corn that's being grown is going to be of 1 or 2 species that were effectively genetically engineered by man.
Yes, but you know, corn was originally genetically engineered by man. It started from one species in Guatemala, and then we, went crazy with it. But any domestic plant or animal, we do crazy things. And most of the time, it's reducing the genetic variability so that we can control it better. Things like goldfish are really stupid compared to regular fish that are in the wild. And cows and all these kinds of things. Really, that's a lot of what we as humans want, things we can control better. So a lot of it is just reducing variability to have the very few traits that we like.
That's right. And it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
amazing species.
Exactly.
We're doing it ourselves.
Oh yeah, totally. And so there's some kind of doomsday scenarios where you see after all the nice species go extinct, we'll be left with kind of those that tolerate humans, or that humans have really modified a lot. And so after our species goes off the planet eventually, the world will bounce back. It always does.
China's building 600 coal-fired power plants in the next 3 years. Maybe sooner than we think.
It's hard to say. Yeah.
With your Heber teller, are you only working with one species, or are you working with 4 species?
The mapping was just to occidentalis. But we've looked at all of them in terms of the relationship between the species. And so, and these include, of course, things that aren't in Cincinnati, trying also to go to the start of the range. But yeah, so we've looked at all of them overall.
We looked at 4 locally.
Mm-hmm.
4 in the main building.
Yep. Our analysis says that sinuata and occidentalis are basically the same, just
Right.
morphs of them. But yeah.
Some of your Richmondian corn you find is all the way down in the top of the coat. I've been finding over the years lots of Richmondian corn in the top of the coat.
Are you?
Yeah.
Lots of talk. Yeah, our data is largely from museum collections, so if those weren't, if nothing similar had been
I
preserved,
work
we wouldn't know about
primarily
it.
with gas plants, but at the same time, I'm noting other things that occur with my gas plant.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain Richmondian corn that's showing up here in the top of the coat. And they are dispersed through the Fairview and like that. You can find one here and one there. But in the
Interesting. Hmm.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Alicia.